Hey guys, Becca Scoops here. How you guys doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, August 1st. Wow. Already August 1st. Can you believe it? Hey, I've got some great content here for you. Just a follow up some from my last video about the 50 Shades of Grey stuff. If you didn't see that, you don't need to watch it first before watching this video. You can just watch this video and you'll get it. So here we go. Many of you know that Gypsy Rose Blanchard loves to play dress up, loves to do this role playing things. She had a lot of different characters: Candy, Kitty, Demona, and she also had quite a few Facebook profiles. One of them, she's dressing up. This is not as well known, but she was dressing up as Anastasia Steele from the movie book 50 Shades of Grey. All right, I kind of went over that in my last video, brought out some interesting facts about the Facebook post. It's still up if you want to go see it. I wanted to see who liked these pictures of Gypsy Rose Blanchard dressing up as Anastasia Steele. And the one thing that popped out at me right away was that the Facebook account Gyp Blanchard liked the pictures of Anastasia Steele, of Gypsy dressing up as Anastasia Steele. Now you'll see in this right here on the left-hand side at the very bottom there, I've got some arrows and a red circle. And you'll see the Gyp Blanchard. Right above that, you'll see the name Sebastian. And when I was making the last video and after, I knew that name rang a bell. I'm like, wait a minute, Sebastian, Sebastian. I know that name is in the emails. I know that name is in the crime scene photos. And we're going to get to that. Very interesting stuff, right? So this Sebastian, I looked it up and I blurred out his last name, but over here you see his Facebook account. At this point, he lives in Mexico. And I'm like, wait a minute. He lives in Mexico. But 10 years ago, there's a possibility he was living in Missouri, right? I mean, that's possible, right? So I just wanted to point that out. And he liked this Anastasia Steele photo of Gypsy before Gypsy or her mom or whoever was the Gyp Blanchard that liked it, right? We're speculating on that. That's a very strange thing because remember, just a reminder that Gypsy has always claimed that her mother did not like her having Facebook accounts and that her mother had her in this hostage situation where she couldn't do things like this. So I found that very odd that either Gypsy went on to the Facebook account and liked it herself, risking that her mom would find it, or did Dee Dee like it? I mean, I don't know. But before Gypsy liked it, this Sebastian guy liked it. He was the second person to like it. And so that's very interesting with the other information I'm going to provide now to you. Okay. In January of 2019, so this is from when Gypsy's in prison. These are from the FOIAs that Into the Weeds got. And Ken is very upset with Gypsy in this email over this Sebastian guy. Now, it's kind of a lengthy email. I'm not going to go over all of it, but the gist of it is you can read it. You can pause to read all of it. Is that he's upset at Gypsy because he's claiming Gypsy went behind his back and was talking to this Sebastian again, and that it wasn't his friends. He says here, you purposely hid the fact that you reached out to your ex-boyfriend, not just a friend, as you put it. It's that in the email down here, it's that you were contacting him and calling him and hiding that from me. I talk to you every day. So then he goes on to say, I talk to you every day and you didn't purposely forget to tell me about that. And then he said, this is not telling me this is not me telling you not to talk to people. I want you to have as many friends as you want. This isn't about Sebastian personally, it's the principal. Okay. Now, this Sebastian character pops up in a few more emails. And let me just tell you, I even forgot about this and I had to have someone remind me of this. And this person, I had already made this video and now I had to go back and redo it because she's like, don't you remember this? Look at this. And I'm like, oh, damn it. All right. We need to include this because this is important to get the full knowledge of who this Sebastian is. So here on September 5th, so on this last one, it's on January. Okay, so January is when Ken is mad about Sebastian. And then on September 5th, 2019, Gypsy's writing and she says, I am doing my best to respect your wishes for space. It's not easy for me. I don't do well alone. I'm informed that Sebastian has a new girlfriend now, which I am happy for him. I'm happy for him. That's not the point. See, that's not the point. The point is that you made me think that it was you. If one day I called and she told me, if one day she called and she told me that you had a new girlfriend, if after we were separated, how would you feel? The truth is, it's very thought that made me take that step way back then. So here Gypsy's talking about this Sebastian again. Not sure who this is to, possibly Ken. Sounds like it probably is. Yeah. I still feel that deep passion. I want to be with a woman that stands by your side. And I just wanted to share this with you, knowing the chem lab is still exploding, at least for me. I love you. I think this is to Ken. That will never change. But I also am coming to an acceptance that the chem lab is an old abandoned room filled with dust for you. And that each day that passes without hearing your voice is giving me up the will to fight for us. Okay. Then on August 10th, 2020, Gypsy writes, how do you feel if I married Sebastian? Just on a whim, married him in prison wedding. How mad would you be? LOL. Now, I know around this time they break up. Ken and Gypsy break up. So I don't know if this is her trying to make him jealous or what. Okay. But bear with me because we're going to get to the crime scene photos. Okay. And this Sebastian, his name is in the crime scene photos. All right. The next one, Gypsy writes on March 23rd, 2022. So Ken is long gone at this point. So guess who just I spent an hour talking to? We were catching up on lost time. She's talking about Sebastian in this. We cried a little talking about things that happened with him, things that happened with me. It's just crazy that so much time has passed since he and I used to write on a weekly. I apologize to him for abandoning him after me in 2017. I was just always jealous of other guys and I knew Bash and I had a short relationship in the beginning of my time. So he didn't want me talking with Bash. Left me wanted to maybe rekindle something with Bash. Somebody left me wanted to rekindle something with Bash. They try to take out names, but they didn't pick up on Bash as a name in these emails. But remember you letting me know he had a girlfriend at the time, so I let it be. His fiance had killed herself a few months later. He started using again after that, and he finally got clean and sober. Now has a 9-to-5 job, new car, a place, and his life is together. Now Sebastian is wanting to pick up things with me since he is in a better place. And I told him I'm with now. I think she's with Ryan at this point, obviously. I'm like, it's always this other way. We get in touch and one of us is always unavailable. Now, the interesting thing about this in email is up here, the second line. I apologize to him for abandoning him after me in 2017. I was always jealous of other guys and knew Bash and I had a short relationship and the somebody was always jealous of other guys. So it's not her. It's a name was always jealous of other guys. And I knew Bash and I had a short relationship in the beginning of my time. So this kind of indicates to me that after she went to prison, they had a short relationship, which makes me scratch my head with what's going to come out in the crime scene photos. Okay. So I just wanted to point out that timing there about this Sebastian character. The next one down is on the same day. You are in your head, but baby, please understand that I've loved others before you. And Bashy is someone who, when we had a more innocent heart, believed we could have a life together, but our past led us apart, not together. Reminiscing of our time is harmless to appreciate the beauty of it. I have love for everyone who left a mark on my heart. Robert, that's one of her other prison lovers. And yes, even Sebastian. They all had their time and each is a special and unique. Okay, then down here, I didn't hide it from you, babe. I wanted to keep in touch with Sebastian because I care about him. I'm sorry that you may feel jealous and secure about it. Here's what's interesting. This is obviously to Ryan because it's 2022. She made Ken jealous using Sebastian in 2019, whether she was in touch with Sebastian or not. Probably she was. Um, According to the prison emails, she was in touch with a lot of men. She was not celibate like with any one person, like, in a monogamous relationship. She was always had others on the side. And that's just a fact for Ken and for Ryan. So here's the weird thing about this Sebastian. We come to the twist in the whole plot. These are screenshots of crime scene photos of the internet at Dee Dee's house on the time at the time of the murder. And here in this first one with the big yellow arrow on the left-hand side, if you get up real close, you'll see where that yellow arrow is pointing. It says Sebastian, 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 Sebastian PC, Sebastian. And this commenter says, and this is from GRB Snark. It's from a long time back. I had saved this. Dee Dee's laptop showing all devices connected to the in-home network. Interesting. Gypsy's PC is connected. Unsure if Dee Dee knew about it or not. So she's also pointing out this Sebastian. And in the middle screenshot there, again, Sebastian, and it's spelled different ways. So this is interesting because Sebastian in the Facebook is spelled with the E. Okay. And here it's spelled both ways. So it's spelled Sebastian on the very right hand side, the big yellow circle there. It's spelled with the E. And these other ones, it's spelled with the A, the way Gypsy's spelling it. So interesting. I don't know what this means. I have no idea. This person writes, one of Sebastian's devices was active at the time forensics was searching through the home. That would be the one that's yellowed, circled in yellow on the very right-hand side that's spelled correctly. The other ones, the spelling of Sebastian is the way Gypsy would spell Sebastian. There is one rumor that Sebastian worked this cupcake shop that Dee Dee and Gypsy would frequent. There is also some rumor that Gypsy was referring to Sebastian and not Dan Glidewell when she told her co-defendant Nick Godejohn. So for those of you that don't know, in text messages between Gypsy and Nicholas Godejohn, right before the murder, Gypsy tells Nick she wants to meet with someone and have sex with someone the day after the murder. Bizarre? Yeah. Gypsy loves to triangulate people. She does it with all of her lovers. There's always a triangulation going on. There's always these extra lovers that she throws in the face of her current lover. It's a pattern. She likes it. She does it all the time. I don't know if this was the Sebastian that she wanted to meet and have sex with, or if it was Dan Glidewell. If you don't remember, Dan Glidewell was kind of Gypsy's first love. He is the one that she went to his house where Dee Dee turns up and brings her back home after Dan's friends called Dee Dee, knew Dee Dee, and called Dee Dee and said, "Come get your girl. She's over here." That's when she went to the hospital. She got a ride to the hospital without her wheelchair, the whole 9 yards. There's a real scene. So I don't know if it was that Dan that she was talking to Nick about. She doesn't indicate who it is in the text before the murder that she wants to meet with and have sex with. So this was very interesting to me. Not sure what it all means, but it's just more evidence that yeah, there was this Sebastian guy, and who was he, and why is he all over their in-home network? Why is his name? Why is one of his devices active when forensics is there? It's very, very bizarre and interesting, right? And interesting. Okay. The next thing I want now, I realize Ken went live, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, okay? But before I get to that, you need a little bit of comic relief, right? We do. We need a little bit of comic relief because, well, you know, Gypsy, her BFF Bree, and one of Bree's underlings got these tattoos that say F Bree I. And Lori, the dream expert, made an excellent video, a real short 4-minute video about this that's really good. And then it's going to get comical because we're going to go back into the past, a blast from the past with Bree and some of the FBI. So let me bring Lori up here.
Top lieutenant's underling got interesting tattoos. I got this side by side from Conspiracy. The one on the left is Bree, and the one on the right is her underling, whose name I cannot remember. These both say F Bree I. Apparently, Bree refers to herself as F Bree I because she considers herself the purveyor of truth and evidence in Gypsy's life. Now, these two aren't the only ones that have gotten tattoos that permanently connect them to Gypsy. Ryan got one.
I thought about getting this covered.
Christy got one.
We got matching tattoos.
Kim got one.
Like, let's do it. I'm like, this feels right. This feels good.
I just want to pause it here. It is so bizarre to me that Christy Blanchard got a matching tattoo with Gypsy. But when you hear how Lori explains the psychological dynamics behind this, it'll make sense.
And now these two. It is very interesting to see the textbook hierarchy of allegiance to the narcissist play out in real time on social media. If you have ever had a narcissist in your life, you have probably seen something similar among the people in the narcissist circle. In narcissist social structures, especially when the narcissist gains fame or influence, a hierarchy of allegiance often forms around them, with the underlings adopting the narcissist's mannerisms, causes, their enemies, and even their symbols. According to the book, Combating Cult Mind Control, this behavior is very similar to cult dynamics, where the leader, the head narcissist, becomes the central identity, and those orbiting them compete for favor by...
I want to pause, Lori, here just for a minute and point out that criminally, forensically, gang members, very big on gang tattoos. There's a whole, if you got into the deep dive on that, it's super interesting. And I think it ties into the type of personalities that are drawn to cult-like stuff. Obviously, broken individuals, psychologically not well individuals, that are looking for something, looking for some meaning to belong. And, gangs definitely fit the bill for that also.
proving their loyalty in various ways, aggressively defending the leader or narcissist against criticism, often attacking detractors, mimicking the leader's speech patterns, philosophies, or style, and wearing specific colors or symbols, or getting
So like the gangs, right? The Crips, the Bloods are red, the Crips are blue in gangs. So the symbolism is big too. Very, very interesting how she ties this into, because of course I knew about all these people that got tattoos, but when you really start thinking about it, like Christy, Ryan, Ken, Bree, and Bree's underling, it's there. This is like cult-like behavior, guys. This is definitely cult-like behavior.
tattoos or attire that is associated with the group or with the leader. And from the book,
Sorry, Lori, one more thing. You guys may remember this also, that at Jazz Fest, so for you guys that don't know, Gypsy attended Jazz Fest. It's this New Orleans area jazz festival. And at that, some of the cult members like BFF Bree and her underling and others showed up, and they actually had made this a flag. And you guys got to pause and think about this for a minute. That said F Bree I on it. F Bree I. It's a kind of like Nazi flags, right? I mean, flags are another, it's a symbol. And it just, there's good flags too, like American flag, right? I'm not saying it's just like Nazism, but I'm just saying that the symbol of having a flag, again, with this kind of a narcissist at the head, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, is just fascinating and disturbing at the same time.
book, The Narcissist Epidemic. Narcissists thrive on the admiration of others, and their followers often provide it, not because they fully believe the leader's vision, but because offering praise and loyalty secures their place in the social hierarchy.
I think that if you think about Christy, not because she shares Gypsy's vision, it's not like I think Christy deep down knows Gypsy's super problematic. I know she knows that. Yet she went ahead and marked her body identical tattoos with Gypsy. Why? Why would she do that? Because Gypsy serves a purpose in her life. Gypsy has been a cash cow for her, obviously. Gypsy has brought her some notoriety, right? And so for those reasons, Christy went ahead and branded herself as part of Gypsy's cult.
In my opinion, this is what we are seeing with all these people in Gypsy Circle tattooing themselves in order to show their loyalty, their allegiance to their queen. But here's the plot twist. While they all got tattoos to show loyalty to her, Gypsy got a tattoo, a matching husky tattoo, to align herself with Ken, a nod to his dog. So does that make him the cult leader? No. I did some research on this, and it seems that this is something called self-object merger, which means Gypsy experiences Ken as an extension of herself, essential for her psychological cohesion.
This is true. This is true. I have been studying Gypsy in this case, for over a year. And the one thing that Gypsy is obsessed about and frightened about is Ken leaving, not being with Ken. This has caused Gypsy to hyper focus on Ken in ways that we probably don't even know. And so what she is saying here to me rings true, is valid.
So Gypsy's matching tattoo with Ken indicates she isn't just aligning with him. She's absorbing him into her identity to fulfill her internal fairy tale narrative. By branding herself with a symbol of his life, she's not only marking her territory, but attempting to cement a happily ever after narrative or fantasy where Murderella and her Prince Charming are indistinguishably one.
She needs to feel that so badly. She needs that fantasy to be fulfilled so badly. That is why she did with the husky tattoos. It calmed her anxiety at the time. And I want to remind you guys something about when they got those tattoos. It was immediately done. Gypsy manipulated it. So one of the first things her and Ken did when they got back together, I mean, she wasn't even like gone from Ryan for a couple of days, and they were at the tattoo shop getting those husky tattoos. How crazy is that? That she manipulated that to happen at her cousin's tattoo shop. She had no way of knowing that she was still married. They had just met. I think it was the first time they were together. One of the things they did was go and get these husky tattoos. It is bizarre. Who does that? Who does that? Like, how do you know if that's gonna work? I mean, you're just right now together and you're like, "Hey, let's go get matching tattoos." What? What? So bizarre. Thanks, Lori, for this video. Really love that video. If you guys can find her YouTube channel down in the description box, go over and follow her. Take a look at some of her other videos. She does a really good job at breaking down this stuff with Gypsy Rose Blanchard. The other thing I wanted to say about these tattoos, um, the other thing I wanted to say about these tattoos had to do with Ryan's reaction when it happened. It was so devastating. And look, this isn't about being on Team Ryan. I'm not at all. Okay. They're all disturbing to me. But the sheer shock of it, because she had just left. I want you guys to recall that moment. This is from one of our videos on Becca Scoops. Gypsy and Ken are caught flaunting their relationship all over social media. It causes Ryan Anderson to break down.
The matching tattoos broke my heart.
So here he is. This is from the Life After Lockup, and he just finds out that immediately after she leaves, they go and get these tattoos.
It was like, did I mean anything? Did I mean anything?
So, yeah, obviously you didn't. Obviously you didn't. And more has come out in the emails to show that there was a lot of turmoil for Gypsy to go to the parole board, and you have to have a plan. In one email, she talks about being upset that she might have to go to a halfway house. And if she doesn't have a plan that the parole board will be approved of, like that they'll say, yeah, you can go live with this person. And at the time, remember, Rod and Christy's marriage is kind of on the rocks, and Gypsy's complaining that she doesn't know where she's going to go. And so this whole narrative that Gypsy married Ryan because he lived in Louisiana near them, relatively in the area, that it was just convenient for her to get married to him because so she had a place to go. I believe, yeah, that makes sense. That's probably one of the reasons she got married to him and then left him so soon after she got out and then could go be with Ken. Ken didn't live in the state, wouldn't be like, look, Ken wasn't in the picture, A lot of people say, "Oh, she never stopped contacting Ken." It's true. It looks like she every once in a while would shoot him an email. I didn't see at any point, after a certain point that Ken's reciprocating that back, that Ken had moved on and was living with someone else. And so, yeah, she knew that relationship was done and over. And she was thinking, I don't know even know if my dad's even going to be in Louisiana. Is he going to move to Canada with this cookie lady? The cookie lady is this woman who made cookies that Rod was having an affair with. So, yeah, you can see here why Ryan is super upset because no, you didn't mean anything to her. No, you didn't. Not really. You were convenient. You were good on paper and the parole board accepted you and you need to accept that. And I hope Ryan's mom is listening to me. Help him accept that. Okay. All right. So there's that. We're going to move on to something else here too, about the tattoos, right? In the same flavor as those tattoos, you guys may or may not remember, but Gypsy Rose had this book signing, and this was covered on her Life After Lockup show. And when we're talking about these cult members and how they think about Gypsy, you don't have to go very far to find some really comical, sad behavior that comes from her BFF, Bree. Okay, so let's bring this up.
Gypsy Rose mother-in-law.
That's Anne Francis, and I love Anne. Hey, Anne. I'm going to skip over this part just because I don't want to get copyright, but I'm going to risk playing a couple minutes of this, or a couple seconds of this, actually. Here you see Bree, and she's standing behind a sheriff's deputy that Bree is alerted the sheriff's deputy to this poor woman. Bree was outside the book signing on patrol, acting like, well, the FBI, acting like she was like a special ops or Navy SEAL or, Ranger, CIA, Bree was right up there. She was going to handle the security of this event. And damn it, nobody was going to get near Gypsy that didn't go through Bree first. Let's listen and watch.
This girl was going to go in with her little earbud and tell Gypsy.
With her little earbud. Like, she's a dangerous woman with her earbud. And I don't think she liked Gypsy. So I tell the cop she's a problem.
Gypsy some nasty stuff, came all the way here just to do that.
How do you know she was going to say that? How do you know she was going to do that?
And not anymore because I shut that down.
I am Bree. I am the FBI. I am in the cult of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I have a tattoo. I am Navy SEAL Special Ops. This is serious fucking stuff, people. Serious fucking stuff.
She said she bought 2 tickets, so I'm going to give her her full refund, and then she can leave. They're not going to ruin this for Gypsy. They're mad at me, but I don't care. I'm always...
Does that woman look like she's mad at Bree? She's like waving. She's like waving to Bree. Bree's like, I don't care. That woman's mad at me. She's mad at me.
I'm going to protect Gypsy. And she can keep soon.
I'm going to protect Gypsy and back it up. Let's go.
They're mad at me, but I don't care. I'm always going to protect Gypsy.
I'm always going to protect Gypsy. What is going on with you? What is wrong with you? What is going on with you? No, I mean, seriously, what is this? There's actual security at the event, Bree. You didn't need to run around acting like a crazy woman, with your phone there, getting the evidence of anyone that didn't like. There's like 2 people across the street that don't like Gypsy. I'm going to handle it. I'm going to not the cops are going to handle it. I'm going to handle it because I'm Gypsy's special friend and Gypsy needs me. Remember what Lori was saying about this cult-like behavior. This is cult-like behavior, and I'm sorry, but it's kind of funny at the same time because yeah, it's crazy. It's bizarre. It's like this hero worship of this mommy murderer. It is just bizarre, the psychology behind this.
She can keep fooling me, I don't care. Because this is the closest she's going to get to Gypsy, so.
Oh my God. There's a call. One more time. Let's go.
Gypsy. They're mad at me, but I don't care. I'm all.
Who's mad at you? Who is mad? I don't think anyone's mad at you. I don't think anyone knows what you're even doing. You're like a legend in your own mind. You're the FBI. Get a hold of yourself, girl. Get a hold of yourself. Get some help. Okay? I mean, you got to laugh at some of this stuff. It's just bizarre behavior from these people.
Always going to protect Gypsy. And she can keep fooling me, I don't care. Because this is the closest she's going to get to Gypsy, so.
I'm special. I'm the Mossad. I'm the FBI. Oh, sorry, FBI. I'm the CIA. I'm like black ops. I'm like a black ops, like in the movies, stealthing around, there's a Gypsy hater on every corner. I'm going to weed them out. And they're not coming through me. They are not getting through the FBI. Okay. Are you okay? Where's your tattoo? Like the Navy SEALs have their tattoos and it's just crazy stuff, you guys. Look, you can't make this stuff up. You just cannot make this stuff up. All right. What's next? Just a little bit. I'm going to just end with this. Just a little bit of Ken and his humble. He is so humble. When I think of Ken, I think humble. I think this guy is humble. He doesn't play a victim ever. No, he's a fully mature adult that understands the consequences of being on a reality TV series. God bless him. Let's listen to Ken and his humble maturity.
If I were to just get ripped over the next 6 months, which won't happen, by the way, but if I did, it'd be, oh, he's on steroids. It's always going to be the most dramatic conclusion as possible. And if you don't believe me, which I'm sure a lot of you don't have to take my word for it. Let's go ahead and talk about CPS. Maybe you can take this as facts. So before Aurora was born, we kind of knew that CPS would.
The one thing you're going to find out about this stuff is that his timeline, and it doesn't really matter. But he is totally inconsistent telling this story. It's so inconsistent. I cannot follow it. I love me a good timeline. And I always try to get a timeline. Like, well, when did this happen? And now he's got he says 3 different things. It recently happened. It happened months ago. And then a few days ago.
Us by our snarks and haters and trolls. And we prepared for it. We knew that it's an unfortunate reality that we knew we were going to.
Did you call the FBI? Was the FBI? Were they alerted? I hope so.
Deal with. And, they're going to report a bunch of false allegations against us, false lies, and, just attack us in any way they can and just cause an uproar and, hurt us as much as they can. So one day CPS comes by our house. This is not too long ago.
And we're not victims. No, we're not victims.
And, we're fully cooperative.
So what did he say? There was a part of the timeline there. Hold on.
So one day CPS comes by our house. This is not too long ago.
Okay, not too long ago.
And, we're fully cooperative. So we let them come in. They toured our house, took pictures of everything. Even took pictures inside of our fridge for whatever reason.
Because they're doing an investigation because a baby's life is on the line.
Took pictures of the inside of our drawers in our room, all kinds.
Oh, so bizarre.
Of crazy stuff. And of course they tested us, because these allegations were, we're neglecting Aurora, we're leaving her at home to go out and party. And
now this whole thing, we're leaving her to go out and party, to me indicates when Gypsy got off parole. That was when they were leaving her to go out and party, right? I don't know if that's when this happened or not, but I'm just picking up on certain things that may pertain to when this happened.
We're blowing wind in her face and just not taking care of her. It was all false, all BS. And so I knew that, inevitably we'd have to deal with a caseworker. And so she came over, she interviewed us separately, toured our house, took pictures of everything, made sure. And I'm trying to watch my verbiage on this because I know there are a lot of things you can say to get banned or get your live kicked off. So words I would never say. They made sure all of our pew-pews were locked.
Why would you have a pew-pew when you're with a mommy murderer who shot her mother 10 times? Yeah, it ended up being a BB gun, but she didn't know that. She's admitted she didn't know that, but then she changed her story. But if I was with someone like that, I wouldn't want a gun around at all. I don't know about you guys, but I'd be like, no, let's not have that in the house.
Correctly, and made sure that we didn't have any chemicals out and available. There's all the normal stuff. And then they, of course, tested us. And not only were UAs given, but hair was given. Okay. And just recently.
Speaking of hair, here he is with no hair on that one video that kicked off all this speculation about the drug use, right? This is when we first see him completely bald. So if this CPS thing happened, whenever it happened in the past, it's interesting that he goes bald at the same time, like later, right? So after this is after the CPS thing where they supposedly tested his hair and did the UAs, which means urine analysis. Okay. Yeah, it's just interesting to me that he went completely bald. Maybe just a coincidence. Like, I'm not implying anything. I'm just saying it is interesting. All right.
As of a few months ago, our case was closed because nothing.
As of a few months ago now, there's the other thing. Now, see, it's just he's all over the place and inconsistent about the time. That's one thing. The next thing he's going to talk about with the drug usage was a total red flag for me.
Thing comes back, and they realize that as much as you guys don't want it to be true, as much as a lot of our haters and snarks there don't want it to be true, Aurora is in a very safe environment and in a very well taken care of household. And that's just the reality that y'all have to get over. So if you don't believe me when I say that I'm not using anything, you can believe the fact that our case file was closed and that we were tested and for that case file to be closed. And our caseworker even told us, unfortunately, because of y'all's notoriety, I don't.
Right, because of your notoriety. Look, you were in a reality TV series. This is the other point I want to make, okay? And when you do that, and according to a video that Conspiracy just brought out, please go check her out. I'll have her YouTube channel in the description box. You all made around over $400,000, or Gypsy did, okay, since she left prison, all right? And so one of the drawbacks or one of the, bad parts of becoming, notorious and having a lot of people looking at your life because you're on a reality TV series is this. This is why you get paid that money, right? Because you wanted to go and be on a reality TV series. You were all about it, okay? Did 2 seasons of it, all right? And now you're upset because people are crazy on the internet looking into your life. How can you, as a mature adult, complain about that? I don't understand being the constant victim. They're always the victim. These people, Ken, Gypsy, Christy, all of them, Bree, they're all victims. They don't understand why people don't like them and why people are in their business. Well, maybe because you guys were on a reality TV series. I don't know. It's not rocket science.
Expect these false calls to stop coming in, just like with her PO. All the time, false calls, lies, etc. So for me to go and develop a habit right now, knowing that any day they can come knock on my door again, it's just ridiculous.
That statement blew me away. Let's listen to it again about drug use.
And that we were tested and for that case file to be closed. All the time, false calls, lies, just never going to happen.
Okay,
So
hold on.
now, knowing that any day they can come knock on all the time, false calls, lies, etc. So for me to go and develop a habit right now, knowing that any day they can come knock on my door again, it's just ridiculous. It's out of the question, and it's just never.
No recovering addict would ever make that statement. Let me repeat. No recovering addict would ever make that statement. The first thing you learn in the 12 steps is that you're powerless over your addiction, your disease, okay? And that there are certain triggers that can bring it on. You don't decide when you get triggered and could start using again in recovery. You have to be hyper vigilant, but you learn the first step is you're powerless over it, right? You're powerless over it. And so, yeah, a stressful situation like this would be the trigger to have a relapse. So here's the only thing I can conclude. Either he's never, ever, ever had a drug problem, so he doesn't know what he's talking about. Or, and this has more evidence behind it, that he has at one point, according to all of the plethora of emails in the FOIA, okay? No, I don't believe Gypsy, I know she lies, but when you read some of those emails about the drugs, it sounds true, okay? I think there's even other evidence that possibly he did. I don't know that 100%, so I'm not going to say I know 100%. Maybe he's never had a problem with any substance, alcohol or drugs. That's a possibility. But here's my point. If he has, and he's talking like this, red flag. Big time red flag that I would be so concerned about if I was in the orbit around this couple thinking about the baby. His arrogance here and thinking that he somehow has control over an addiction is mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing. So I don't know exactly what he's going on about with this, but all I can say is that when I heard that, I stopped in my tracks and said, what did he just say?
Never going to happen. So you believe what you want, but that's the facts and that's the reality. So yeah, it's an unfortunate thing that we have to deal with. I don't fear CPS. We're very.
You don't fear CPS? I think all parents fear CPS. No one wants CPS in their life. So I don't understand what he's talking about here. He goes on and on and on and on. And, if you want to watch the whole video of him, Conspiracy has it. Others have it up, but I'd go to Conspiracy. She does a really good job with her videos. At the end, he starts complaining about Ryan. This is what set this off. Gypsy probably was, in Ken's ear. Ryan says you're a user. Ryan says that's what Ryan said on a live prior to this live with Ken. It's probably why Gypsy and Ken decided. Now, Gypsy's in the background. So Gypsy's taken on a very familiar role for herself, and that is as the master manipulator behind the scenes. She did it with Nick Godejohn, and now she's doing it here again. She does it with Bree. She even admitted in the Lifetime series that, yeah, she got Bree to do these things for her because she just couldn't do it. It was the same thing she said about Nick to Dr. Phil. I got him to do it because I just couldn't do it. So now we see her gone off social media, and we see Ken as the face of her and face of Gypsy, basically as her spokesperson now. So that's what's going on here, guys. I hope you liked this video. I enjoyed making it for you. And yeah, I'm thinking about having a live either tomorrow or the next day. So be on the lookout for that. Okay. That's going to pop up. And I want you guys to join me because I have some other stuff I'm dying to share with you, but I want to do it on a live. So please look for that. If you like this video, please consider liking it and sharing it. And if you're not subscribed to my channel and you appreciate my content, please think about subscribing. It would mean so much to me and my husband, Mitch. We're the two that run this channel. And we have a friend that helps us with all the research. So we would all really appreciate it if you guys would sub to this channel, if you can. All right, guys. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday, August the 1st. Have a great weekend, and maybe I'll be seeing you tomorrow. So look for that. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Love you. Becca Scoops out.